My friends, how are you? It is absolutely fantastic to see you for yet another video, and I hope you're all doing well out there today. I have some interesting news about Donald Trump's big tariff plans that he had for the United States, basically just backfiring in his face today. And I gotta be honest with you, I think this entire situation is hilarious because, as we know with Donald Trump, he doesn't really think anything through or understand the cause and effect of anything at all. And he thought he would come into office this time and basically try to bully the rest of the world into submission to do whatever he wanted by threatening tariffs on the entire globe and saying if they didn't fall in line, they were going to have to deal with tariffs in many different ways or another, right? Like recently we saw that Donald Trump had threatened Canada with more tariffs if they didn't get their smoke under control, right? And we've seen many more unhinged examples of Donald Trump thinking that his threat of tariffs was the answer to whatever goddamn problem he had going on. And it's been quite an interesting situation, to say the least. But it's been a clusterfuck also. It's been an absolute shit show with all the tariff madness that's been going on with Donald Trump. And you guys remember he tariffed everything, right? The entire globe. It was a whole fucking mess. You guys remember the Liberation Day tariffs? Excuse me, where, basically the supply chain stopped moving altogether. We had the dock workers over at the ports wondering if they even had a job. They didn't have anything to do as there were no ships coming in, and the entire supply chain stopped existing for a brief period of time while Donald Trump used the threat of tariffs to manipulate the stock market so him and his buddies could buy when the stocks were going to hell, and then come back and say, oh, there's no more tariffs, and then the stock market shoots up and they make all kinds of fucking money, right? We all remember that. Well, you mix that with another situation we got going on in the United States, and that is basically the beef industry is collapsing right in front of us. You guys have seen me cover that on quite a few occasions. I've talked about the Tyson plant in Lexington, Nebraska closing. That was a big fucking deal. Huge portion of that town work there at Tyson in Lexington, and the whole town's basically going to go under. And then Tyson has recently announced 3 more closures of their different plants in now I got to remember what they are: Utah, Washington, and Illinois. They're just going to shut those the fuck down, right? And that's just the problems going on with Tyson. One of the other major beef manufacturers, well, I don't know if that's the right word, beef processors, JBS has closed at least one plant that I know of. I think that one was over in Pennsylvania. They were involved in a massive labor dispute with their workers at their plant in Greeley, Colorado. And that's all I can think of with JBS, but it's probably a lot fucking worse than that. And as you guys know, I've covered quite a few times the Cargill situation in Fort Morgan, Colorado, where they were in a labor dispute also, where the employees and the union demanded more money and more benefits and all of these things. And the leadership of Cargill went over there and they shut the whole motherfucker down. They locked them out for over 2 months before they were able to come to an agreement, right? We've got an absolute disaster going on with the beef industry in the United States. And Donald Trump feels like he has come up with a brilliant solution to this entire fucking problem. And his solution has now pissed off the cattle ranchers in the United States, as they feel like he has betrayed them with his latest action. So we're going to talk about that today. As always, I want to take just a couple seconds of your time to thank you guys for everything you do to help support the channel. I appreciate everyone for everything that you do to help out. Watching the videos, subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, leaving a comment, and sharing your videos out to your social media all definitely helps me grow the channel in YouTube's algorithm, and I appreciate all of your support there. And everyone that does the channel membership, super chat, super thanks, thank you so much for that support. I appreciate everything you do there. And the best way to support the channel, if you would like to, is the Buy Me a Coffee link that you can find in the pinned comment and description of every video. There you could do a one-time donation or a recurring monthly if you would like to, and just kind of help support the channel, because it's hard out here for everyone. I understand that, it definitely is, but being an owner-operator trucker in the United States with $6 fucking diesel has been a real goddamn challenge. So I just wanted to tell you guys I appreciate everything that you do to help me with this channel and keep me going out here. Thank you so much. So back to the fucking point. Donald Trump is an absolute maniac with these tariffs, right? And he has apparently been made aware by someone that there's a massive problem in the beef processing industry here in the United States, where he has decided to backtrack on a certain group of tariffs to try to, he says, lower the price of beef in the United States. Now, we have to understand that Donald Trump doesn't do anything at all for the American people. Why would he ever be concerned with if the American people can afford to eat or anything like that? I mean, for God's sakes, we had to listen to some Republican jackass stand at the in Washington somewhere, wherever he was, and when he was questioned about how he was bragging about going to spend that weekend, I think it was 4th of July weekend, spend that weekend eating steak and lobster and just praising Jesus that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. He was asked why he thinks he deserves to have steak and lobster while the American people can barely afford to feed themselves, and he said that it's an American problem. We're all lazy and we didn't work as hard as him, and he's better than us, and he deserves that steak and lobster, and you can go fuck yourself. Now, were those the exact words he used? Probably not entirely, but that's what we all took from that shit now, wasn't it? It absolutely was. So all I can assume, because Donald Trump does not give a fuck about helping the American people, is somebody at these big meat processing companies must have paid him off for him to try to do them a favor, and that's all I can assume, right? Donald Trump doesn't do anything to help us at all, but the minute that a rich person starts lining his pockets, then all of a sudden shit starts getting done in the United States. And Donald Trump has announced that he is giving a 30-day, I guess, sort of a break to all the beef tariffs coming into the United States. And he says it's a claim to help out the American people. Look at that. What a good guy Donald Trump is, right? What a good fucking guy that dude is. He says it's to help out the American people, which is the craziest shit ever. He's right in a sense, but hear me out before you grab your pitchforks, all right? He's right in the sense that beef is too goddamn expensive and we can't fucking afford it. But of all the fires that Donald Trump needs to be fucking putting out, this is, and he's the arsonist, by the way, but of all the fires he needs to be putting out, this is the one he chooses to go all in on, right? He don't want to end the war in Iran, right? He don't want to do that. He don't want to put a stop to his big, beautiful bill that's going to bankrupt so many people, when medical bankruptcy, when all of his real cuts to you know, Medicare and Medicaid and all that go through on the big beautiful bill. He don't want to put a stop to all of his nonsensical tariffs so we can start to build a fucking economy again. He don't want to stop ICE from running through the streets and gunning down the American people. He don't want to do any of that. But what his real focus is the cost of beef is too damn high, and he intends to fix that by getting rid of these tariffs. It's for 90 days. And it has a certain amount that is allowed to be imported, so it's not like fully open. But he has certainly opened the floodgates a little bit to other countries to start sending us their beef. And what he says is to get the price down for the American people. We're not buying it, Donald. Do you think we're dumb? Do you think we're fucking dumb, Donald? We're not buying that shit. Anyways, that's what he's saying he's going to do, and I find this for one to be a rather shocking fucking thing, because I don't know who he's trying to help with this situation. Because as we go through this, excuse me, I will tell you that the beef processors, or cattle ranchers, are extremely pissed off about this entire situation, and it makes me question, like, who is this for? Like, what's going on, if not for the beef processors to have paid him off? That's the only thing I can come up with, because the meatpacking plants are making the claim that it's because cattle prices are so high that's why they're being forced to close down all of these plants all over the country and not run at full capacity and all of those things. And if the beef prices would just come down a little bit lower, then everybody will be able to be happy, and they could keep their business open and all of that shit. And it's funny the amount of conflicts that are going on here. So the meat packing plants are pissed off because the beef's too fucking high, the cattle's too expensive, and the only way to do that is to fix it is to bring the fucking prices down. They must slip Donald Trump a little bit of money, maybe bought some of his scam meme coin. I don't really fucking know. And he immediately turns around and says, we got to fix this and get this out of here, right? But his claim that this is for the American people is one of the funniest fucking things that I think I have ever heard. And it's interesting. Notice I said 90 days, right? Just so this is going to run through the midterms. This little break from the beef tariffs are going to run through the fucking midterms. And you would almost, if we had a reasonable adult president that didn't start so many goddamn fires and maybe had a couple issues to fix to kind of bolster up his party a little bit before the midterms and hope they can hold on to power, this is an action you might see from a party that's not like a fucking sinking ship, like the actual fucking Titanic right now. And they would go, well, maybe we could fix this up a little bit and that'll get us some more votes, so we'll bring these fucking beef prices down, right? But this one isn't going to fool the American people. So what they're saying is that the beef is going to come in from different countries. They haven't specified the countries yet, but we can kind of assume what they're going to be. But it will sell at 25% less than the beef that's being produced in the United States, right? Undercutting the cattle ranchers, and in theory, which is a solid theory, will bring down the cost of beef for the American people. And if that were like one of the only things that were bothering us, that was going really bad for us, then we would be okay with this. We would say, oh yeah, that's a good idea, lower the beef prices, right? But we've got all that other shit I listed off going on also, plus many other things that I still didn't list. It's fucking crazy. I mean, it's insane the amount of things that he's doing. So this is like the whole entire skyscraper is on fire right now, and Donald Trump shows up to say he's helping and starts pissing on a corner with that tiny little peepee he has. You know, he probably doesn't have a whole lot of pressure coming out of that thing, and he's just tinkling. That's what he's doing. He's tinkling on the corner and acting like he's helping put out the fucking fire, and that's basically what this entire thing is, right? The American people are not going to be tricked by this. Like, I mean, I understand that gas is $4 and diesel is $6, and we're in an illegal war where we're starving our troops right now and getting them killed. Sailors, sorry about that. I messed that up in a recent video. And we're starving them, and we're let's see, the ice is killing a bunch of motherfuckers, all of these things, but like at least the beef is really cheap, and that's a good thing, right? We know now what Republicans do when they are in full control under Donald Trump's rule, and that is fuck up everything, absolutely everything. So if this was some sort of my voice got really high pitched there for a second. Did you hear that? I don't know. My nuts just dropped, my friends. I'm not really sure, but anyways, if this was some sort of like a last ditch effort to try to like bolster up the midterms, it's not gonna work, is what I'm fucking trying to tell you. That's exactly the explanation that I'm trying to make with that entire thing. So the American people aren't going to buy this. That's the entire situation with that. So anyways, this has obviously pissed off the cattle ranchers, right? And that's why I say, who is this for? I mean, who is he going to gain as a voter in the upcoming midterms by doing this specific thing, is the part that I am heavily fucking confused about, my friends. The rest of Americans know that everything else just still costs a ton of fucking money. It doesn't really do a whole lot of good, right? And now the cattle ranchers feel like they're fucking betrayed because all the imported beef is going to come in, undercut their market, and then they have to lower their prices to be competitive, or they're not going to be able to sell their product anymore because we're broke as shit buying everything else in this country. And they feel absolutely betrayed by the entire fucking thing. And I gotta be honest with you, I kind of think it's funny a little bit, because I mean, I don't think that the regime basically starving out the American people is fucking funny, but I think it's funny on more of a personal level, right? Because one time I was talking about all the shit that Nebraska has been through. Nebraska has been under assault by Donald Trump ever since this administration, the second administration, has started. We've seen many business closures. We've seen many business closures. It's crazy over there. We've seen like the rural hospitals going down. We've seen of course the assault on the farmers, and they can't sell their fucking product to anyone on because they don't have a global market anymore. And Nebraska's been one of the hardest hit fucking ones, right? And while I was talking about that one time, some guy came to my comment section and talked about how I was full of shit, and he kept telling me that I don't speak for him. It was fucking bizarre. I never claimed to speak for him. I speak for only me, and that's just the way it works. And he was saying that he's a cattle rancher in Nebraska, and he's like, I'm making so much goddamn money because beef prices are high. Donald Trump has saved my business. You guys see where I'm going with this, right? And because of Donald Trump, my family's gonna do just fine, and we are all so fucking happy. It's too bad because that guy used to annoy the shit out of me. Like, he would come here every day just to say dumb shit, and sometimes I use that hide user button a lot, and he got caught up in that one day because he was getting on my fucking nerves, because I'd love to hear his input now on the fact that Donald Trump just undercut his beef prices by importing from other countries and getting rid of the tariffs is what I meant to say for this 90-day period. That'll be fucking funny. So he's not gaining a single American voter that is already paying too much for everything else. He must be bought off by the meatpacking companies. That's all I can fucking assume, because that's how Donald Trump's tariffs work. If you can pay him off, he'll get rid of the tariff, right? That's how he does this entire fucking thing. And now that the cattle ranchers are going to have their profit cut into dramatically by what is going on, the cattle ranchers are now pissed off at Donald Trump. All he did was lose voters, is what I'm trying to tell you. And I wanted to talk about just a couple more things and talk about the reason we're in this situation. I know I've talked about it before, but the whole reason we're facing a beef crisis in this country right now is all due to the Republican Party in every possible fucking way. Whether it be Republican or Donald Trump or both, they're the reason that we're dealing with this entire situation. They're talking about drought conditions is what's causing the small herd sizes. That's the biggest contributor, they say. Yeah, Republican policy, deny climate change, right? Exactly, we remember that. And a lot of the reason that the meatpacking industry is losing a lot of their business is because the prices of everything are too fucking high, and that has a lot to do with Donald Trump's nonsensical trade wars, the on-again, off-again tariffs, the uncertainty of what's going on. That's causing that. And also, they're saying the transportation of the products around the country is causing the prices to go higher. Yes, that's the fault of Donald Trump and the Republicans and this bullshit war in Iran, because it is the Republican policy to start wars in the Middle East with countries that control a huge portion of the global oil supply, right? This is, once again, I'm 3 for 3 on this one with the fucking Republicans fucking something up, right? And on top of that, Republican Donald Trump policy and Doge policy was to stop eradicating, or I don't know if eradicating was the right word there, but stop with the control of the screwworm that has also been devastating to the cattle down along the southern border, is my understanding. Also a Republican and Donald Trump policy. So everything about this is because the Republicans were hard at work again, fucking the shit out of the American people. And for me, I find that very interesting. It's always them. It's always fucking them, isn't it? And the last things I want to talk about is sort of where this beef is coming from. Right now, according to what I read earlier, there's no like official source for where the beef's coming from, and it's sort of left to speculation for where it's going to come from. And one of the countries was like Australia, which good for you, Australia. Sell us your beef. That's fine. We don't mind. But one of the funny ones, one of the fucking funny ones, my friends, that I read was Argentina would be another big supplier of the beef once these tariffs are removed for the 90 days. I believe they're already removed. I'm not really sure. But Argentina, anybody fucking remember Argentina? Yeah, it seems like years ago, doesn't it? You remember when we bailed Argentina out to the tune of $40 billion? You guys remember that? Well, our deficit now has hit $40 trillion, and it's something like 120% of our GDP. Basically, the country's a sinking ship right in front of us because we're broke. We're fucking broke at this point. But we bailed them out to the tune of $40 billion. Once they secured the bag, they immediately, knowing that Donald Trump had all these trade wars all over the world and the American farmer was cut out of the soybean market with China, they immediately opened their markets up to China and started selling their soybean to them after collecting the $40 billion from us. They have made a whole lot of money off of Donald Trump's sheer fucking stupidity, and they're back to do it again. They went, oh shit, yeah, we'll sell you some beef. We don't fucking mind. And it is insane how much advantage Argentina has taken of the stupidity of Donald Trump, right? But on that point with the $40 billion to Argentina, where it really does start to frustrate me more and more as we go along, because you remember just a couple days ago, Donald Trump was questioned about, I believe it was daycare for like working class families and shit like that. And if you guys caught that clip, Donald Trump said we can't afford daycare in this country. There's no way anybody's getting daycare because it's just unaffordable. And then he said, because we're fighting all these wars. Yeah, from the no new wars, anti-war, I'll end the war in 24 hours, give me a Nobel Peace Prize because I ended 8 wars president, we can't afford daycare in this country because we are fighting the wars, according to fucking Donald Trump. Isn't that something? Anyways, to sort of wrap it up, I guess I'll get to the end of the video. Like I said earlier, I don't know who this is for. This isn't going to convince American voters to turn back to Donald Trump unless he wants to lower the prices on everything immediately. Americans have a very short attention span. If he can turn it around in 80 days, then Republicans might have a fucking chance, but he's not going to do that. And all it sounds like to me is he was paid off by someone, and like I said earlier in the video, did not gain a single voter for this. As a matter of fact, just pissed off a major group. I don't know how many cattle ranchers we have in this country, but they almost certainly come out and they vote for Donald Trump, and he just fucked them over too. And hell, I couldn't be more happy for him. I mean, because of that one fucking cattle rancher that came here and told me how great life was, I couldn't be more excited for every damn one of them as they get their prices undercut by Donald Trump, now flip-flopping once again on more of his fucking tariffs. It's just absolutely insane. Anyways, I'm not against it. I mean, yeah, lower the price of beef. Fuck it, doesn't matter to me. That sounds like a good step, Donald Trump. About time you got something right, but we know that somebody paid him to do it. That's the end of that. Anyways, I got to get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.